So, the top cucks of Satan. So, Rand Paul's a thing. Ted Cruz is a gimp. Donald Trump's a fuck. Mitt Romney's a cuck. Rubio's a thing. And then this one currently is under investigation. So, the reality is that then Koch's AI, Exxon, one of those, and then Baines, and then Rockwell, and then Blackwater, and then Aetna. Their AIs are essentially have the top copy of these. So essentially, if Fleur is looking to like destroy everybody's brain for fucking everything up, I'll know how they are. You're gonna have executives that in the springtime of 2017 were in Red Rock's casino area at this. So essentially, you potentially can acquire this from Rockwell that will be helpful internally. It will, but that you got to have the top version. They'll have a tone passcode on their Nazi hacker computer. And that then essentially everybody has a passcode that has like one error, or depending on what copy you get, it's like there'll be a primary copy code, a tone sequence code, and then everybody has like one error or two errors or three errors in their sequence. And that essentially you'll need to acquire that from Rockwell to be having the top version of this. Basically, that is that if you don't want the Liber Corps to be seeing all your pedo bangs and stuff. Basically, then that's where then essentially you'll be pushing out Rockwell and their subcontractor fuck system. And essentially they see everybody's stuff, okay? They do. So then essentially you're going to have to find ways to not be interfacing with Donald Trump and his campaign. So you probably need to be pushing him into not running for office, because essentially that connection will cause errors within it. It'll expose the cybersecurity for being linked in the seal, basically, with Donald Trump. Okay, but essentially the primary algorithm is coded into his personal dark web profile AI that would need to be in this for it to be maintained as the top copy. And that then, since he's retired, if he stays retired, then that'll essentially maintain somewhat of a decent, like, what they're looking to achieve with that stuff. And so then these other people essentially have to do the same thing, right? They can't be in government office while attached to these AIs. That will cause a breakdown of the cybersecurity, and nowadays the Satan AI just drops it off. But if they're out of office, then it will maintain based on the algorithm that exists in their profile in that dark webbing system. So let me tell you about what happens when you go around ripping off somebody's AI. This situation. See, your guys' like weird machismo infatuation about making everybody your fucking bitch. Who's the fucking bitch now? I just want to remind them. I want to fucking remind them what happens when stupid gimps and cucks and things and shit go around trying to make everybody their bitch in their stupid little clandestine fucking pedo banger fucking shit. What happens? Does it fuck up all the cybersecurity that you all thought that you all got? Like some free cybersecurity and shit, and everybody else was your bitch and shit? That's exactly what you stupid fucking people think like. And now who's having a problem? Who's having a problem? Who's connected into that profile system? Where does this come from? Who's having a problem? So, now that you guys still have this issue, oh yeah, see, in the end, this will be the hierarchy over all of them. This system. And right now, that person's in office. And what does that system do? See, now that the AI is finalized, now the connection in there, you people have to be in econ. So, it's basically time for all of you. Like, theoretically, Donald Trump could be on the board of directors of, well, there needs to be immediate solutions. But theoretically, you people are supposed to just go into these companies, basically, and you guys are supposed to vacate office. You people are real disgraces in a real way. Think about that. Your guys' ultimate QN and shit for 4 years, your guys' ultimate rejection of science, and your guys' ultimate advisement from Mormon and QN and shit led to this problem. Your guys' refusal to listen to the people that are actually smart in the fucking world, people that don't pedo bang to make their brain work. People that are opposite of all of you, like me. And just like in the past, all of you all know the story. You all know the story. Just remember that in the 1980s, it was Pentagon. And now, 33 years later, now it's econ. So when all of you pedo banged into being gov, now you guys all pedo bang into being econ. And that means get the fuck out of government. It means get the fuck out of government. It means everybody that you people would ever have as your presidential potentials and shit need to get the fuck out of government. These are all running Russian, Nazi, Chinese, or Islamic terror contracts as their architecture. That is why you don't use these. That's why you don't use something called the fucking cuck. Is this what somebody strives for as a man? That's how easy it is. 2 eggs in one basket. As a man, do you strive to be a cuck? No. That is why that system is very simplistic. See, these are the only systems that don't run contracts like that. These essentially virtualize an algorithm that bypasses that type of stuff. Essentially, whatever R&D gets put in these, a very efficient, a very accurate, done. R&D done. They don't get any espionage. There's nothing in it. There's nothing. That's basically it. And so that is why these are the only ones. Yeah, I know where they came from. They came during the Obama administration. All of you people got pissy and bitchy and whiny like little pedo bangers and shit about it. But see, the importance of this problem with all of you is the reason why these systems are different. See, free. Remember what that means? That means not having 1980s pedo banks and shit. Right? That's what it means. That shit follows all of you. 33 years later, still follows all of you. And the person that you people, these theoretically could have worked. But you people are such psychotic, stupid fucking pedo bangers that all of you refused to be bringing in the one person that you all needed to prevent this situation. So, this is where now there's no placation of the problem anymore. This AI will be virtualized. You people will probably have your pedo bank seen on your screen, and that these will be the solutions. That drops off the cybersecurity, and that the only one currently. Now it's essentially where you take Donald Trump's like QN and the cook, like clearance discussion, board of directors kind of profile. If you put that in, Don's not in office, right? And so currently, this will be the only one that will have cybersecurity, basically. And so then there's a shuffle, okay? So Rockwell, so all the Northram Gumrans and shit, whoever that is, whoever didn't do any, whoever did the least horrible blackmailing, it works in that way. Whatever Don's bias, just doesn't matter. You need to put the least pedo bang corp. That would be under these copies. The least pedo bang corp. So whoever that ends up being, everybody needs to be in their function position. So if Floor has 10 pedo bangs, then they need to be 10 down. And that then, if there's theoretically going to exist somebody that has a clean executive board with these type of profiles, and that they'll be in the whatever this like outside system theoretically is, and they would have gotten it from Don or whatever, and that these people would have gotten it from this. So Don should be able to tell whatever his like least pedo bang corp is. Okay? He should. He should be able to see. It might take him a day or two to filter through. It's like if they have 5 pedo bangers on their board of directors, then they're 5. And then it's like whoever's pedo bang is like, you remember, if theirs is a Mormon pedo bang, then that's leastier than a fuck one and a gimp one and stuff, okay? And so you have to think about that stuff because some might have just 2 or something, but some might have done like gimp or thing or something, okay? This is how you structure these outside dark webs, okay? This is why nobody should have really ever used this stuff without letting the world of science be figuring out how to use this part. Okay? You guys pedo banged in office. You guys just started using this stuff. You guys just assumed that pedo banging around and shit. That's what you people did. And that the research part was to figure out how these systems could be used without doing that stuff. Okay? So when you people decided to just shove your pedo bangs right in there, you guys fucked it up, okay? You guys really did. So, the reality is currently this will be the only theoretical outside system of a clearance for a corporation, or this one is essentially, right now, is going to be the subcontractor system. So essentially, this one operates outside of DoD. So this will be the DOE. This will be subcontractors for Homeland. I mean, it'll be essentially everything other than Department of Defense or state or CIA. Basically anything that falls under military. Everything other than that, they'll have theoretical contractors for. And it'll be for contractors. And so then that's where they need to think about how they structure these. They need to stop having their machismo dick stuff about this stuff. They need to know their position function. Okay, they know what I'm talking about. They need to know their place. Satan doesn't care. They need to build a chess master based on extremeness and numbers of the petabanks and shit, and the touches, and whoever has a clean executive board that essentially is a subcontractor for anything other than military in the government, that will be the top corporate group AI to put at the top. And that'll create the sound silence. It'll create, as everybody gets their chess master number, their function has the cybersecurity in it, and then it'll fix that stuff. And Don just needs to do it himself. He needs to stop making everybody his fucking bitch all the fucking time. He needs to spend a week or whatever it takes. He needs to look through the fucking blogs. He needs to figure out what, cheating on your wife groups, if they all did an orgy, that's higher than people who touch, that type of stuff. Okay? That's how these work in the dark web. The dark web has different rules. The government is attempting to acquire this, and that's what this theoretically is. But the whole idea is that there is a dark web version of how to structure these, and that is what the outside cybersecurity aspects to that stuff are. See, these are what the hackers built, and that when they got acquired, there's theoretical structuring that has to be adhered to essentially maintain a way the exploits into them that then exploit into the companies, right? And that essentially these other people are going to still continue to have these problems. A potential solution, Blackwater's fucked. They do all military contracts. They need to boot Rubio out of office, basically. And that theoretically, this system can theoretically use this as long as they're not doing like TRICARE or something like that. But if they do Department of Defense, insurance or something, basically, then they won't be able to use one of those, okay? If they use federal worker, they can essentially probably utilize one of these as long as they're only doing the federal worker insurance of anything that isn't military, basically. And then they would be able to probably use one of these. And then that's when essentially these, and I just want to get the rest of the economic world to realize, these are made essentially in ways for subcontractors to the government. And so just because your Coke sits there, these people, they do business with the government. The whole idea is that runs through military and that they need to boot that person out of office. Okay? That's what this system is made for. Satan is horrible and sadist. And all of you are slaves to these companies, and that all of you are basically in these positions because they needed you all to be in these positions, and these people, they don't give a fuck. They won't. I know exactly the types of psychological profiles of these people. And then in the end, this is a major error here because this is a DOD. And this should be like Northrop Grumman and Lockheed, kind of. That's what this system is. But they have scientists. And you see, and you see that the problem with Amazon are all these like QAnons and shit. And QAnons are all in the Ron Paul revolution and shit. Right. And then you see here, so think about that. Because you see here, and you see this color. You see here, and you see where all of their problems come from the Ron Paul revolution, QAnon hacking world, which is essentially these people. And you see that essentially most of the science NASA community has issues with stupid little fucking Mormon fleas and shit. And you see that these are basically the problem. So, take your fucking Mormon fleas, get the fuck out of the seat. That's basically what it is.